You know those AI assistants that just talk? Let's forget about them for a second. What if your AI could actually do stuff for you, right on your own computer? Today, we're going to dive deep into OpenClaw, a project that is kicking off a whole new era of what we call Agentic AI. So here's our game plan. First, we'll explore why we even need an AI that works, not just one that talks. Then we're going to pop the hood and see how these agents actually operate. After that, we get to the really fun stuff, the digital superpowers this tech gives you. Of course, we have to tackle the huge question of security. And finally, we'll zoom out and see what this all means for the future. All right, first up, we're talking about a massive leap here, from chatbots that just give you text to agents that actually get things done. For the last couple of years, we've been totally fascinated with AI that can hold a conversation, right? But the industry is now shifting its obsession to something else, autonomy. We're talking AI that can take initiative and complete complex tasks all on its own, from start to finish. Think about it. When you use a typical AI assistant today, you're constantly copying and pasting. You copy your code into the chat, you get a suggestion, you copy it back out. This whole back and forth thing creates so much friction, all because these tools are totally isolated from where you're actually doing the work. And that is exactly the problem OpenClaw is built to solve. It's a self-hosted, open-source agent that runs directly on your machine. It can get into your terminal, it can read your files, it can execute commands, and the best part, your prompts, your files, they never, ever leave your own hardware. That gives you total privacy and total control. It doesn't just tell you the steps, it does the steps for you. Now, the project's journey has been, well, pretty chaotic. It started out as Claude but Anthropic filed a trademark complaint because, it sounded a little too much like their model Claude. So it was rebranded to Moltbot, keeping that cool lobster theme. But that name just didn't stick, so a mere 3 days later, it became OpenClaw. This crazy fast evolution just shows you how viral this thing became almost overnight. And when I say viral, I mean it. The project absolutely skyrocketed to over 171,000 stars on GitHub in just a few weeks. This wasn't just some niche tool for a few people. Developers everywhere really connected with this idea of a privacy-first AI agent that they could truly own and control. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this whole thing actually work? Let's go under the hood and look at the architecture of an AI that really does things. The difference here is just fundamental. A chatbot is isolated, living up in the cloud, just responding to your prompts. An agent, on the other hand, like OpenClaw, is completely integrated with your workflow. It executes real tasks, and it lives right there on your device with you. OpenClaw is really built on 4 key components. First, you've got the gateway. Think of it as the communication hub, connecting to your messaging apps. Then there's the brain. That's the decision engine, and you can power it with whatever AI model you want. The sandbox is super important. It's a secure little container where all the actions are safely carried out. And finally, you have skills, which are basically modules you can add to teach the agent new tricks. So, what does a command's journey look like? Well, you send a message from an app like WhatsApp. The gateway on your computer grabs it and passes it over to the brain. The brain figures out what needs to be done and tells a local agent to execute the task. Then the result is sent right back to you in the chat. Simple as that. Now for the exciting part. What can an agent like this really do for you? Let's take a look at some of these real-world digital superpowers. Just imagine this. You're out and you suddenly need a file from your desktop. You just text your agent, "Hey, find the Q4 report PDF." And 30 seconds later, you have it on your phone. Or maybe you ask for a disk space report, and it sends you back a perfect PDF with charts. You can even control your smart lights or add events to your calendar, all through a simple chat message. And for developers, oh man, this is an absolute game changer. You can ask it to scan huge log files for specific errors, review a piece of code, trigger a deployment, or even just research some API documentation and give you code examples. It's like having a tireless junior developer on call 24/7. But the true power, that lies in the custom skills. You can actually teach OpenClaw your own repetitive workflows. For example, you could create a skill to resize an image, add a watermark, and send it back to you, all with a single command from your phone. It literally learns your job. Okay, so with all this incredible power comes a whole lot of responsibility. Let's pivot to the really crucial topic of security. So let's ask the question head on. Is it actually safe to give an AI full terminal access to your computer? This is the first concern that pops into everyone's head, and for very, very good reason.
Let's be totally upfront about the risks. This agent can execute any shell command. It can read and write your files, and it absolutely could be exposed if you misconfigure it. Not to mention, a malicious actor could use something like prompt injection to trick the agent into running dangerous commands. These are real dangers.
But, and this is a big but, OpenClaw was built with these risks in mind from day one. That's why it has these built-in safeguards. Sandboxing executes every task inside an isolated container. Access controls let you limit which files it can even touch. You can even require manual approval for sensitive commands. And that local first design means your data always stays private, right there on your machine.
So with that in mind, let's zoom out, because this is about way more than just a cool new tool. It's a completely new way of working. Welcome to what we're calling the Agentic era. The philosophy behind OpenClaw is really a bet on a local-first future. It's a future where we, the users, control our own AI. Instead of just handing over all our data and power to massive cloud companies, this approach champions privacy, ownership, and local control.
And this fundamentally changes how we get work done. Tasks like software development are shifting from being this solitary activity into a true collaboration between human and machine. You become less of a coder and more of a coordinator, delegating all the implementation details to an intelligent agent. The future really isn't just about hammering out lines of code yourself. It's about designing systems and orchestrating intelligence to solve complex problems way more effectively.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. If you had your own personal AI agent right now, ready to learn your workflows, what's the very first repetitive, annoying task you would teach it to do for you? The possibilities are really just beginning to unfold.